All right. What's up, fam? I am today going to be going over macro when it comes to gaming. And so for me, like macro is really important. I think we can get really caught up into like the weeds of like looking at a specific game and then like not like really zoom out and see like where is the whole gaming industry going as a whole. And so this actually was brought up by a Discord member named Savis. And he's legit, bro. Like straight G. Super pumped about it to talk about this today. So he asked me about like any type of like resources that like you can see like the demographics for like gaming as a whole, and we want to see like blockchain gaming and where is it going to go in the future? What are like the possibilities for it? Let me make sure that my sound is good to go before I move on. Okay, I should be going. Okay. All right. So if you're looking at my screen right now, this is the free global games market report by Newzoo. And these people like do a really good job at like putting the gaming industry as a whole, has like a lot of good articles, a lot of good blogs. And this is kind of where I get some of my research when it comes to kind of zooming out and finding out the macro. And so I already read through this report, so I just want to give you guys like the down and dirty, and then we can kind of get into a little bit of Q&A if anybody's here. So number one is that they're going to be doing metrics by players, payers, and revenues. And we're just going to move on from there. So in this research conducted from late January to early April 2021, there was more than 72,000 invite-only respondents. And so the age group is like 10 to 65-year-olds in majority of the countries, and then 10 to 50-year-olds in Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, and China. So they're just saying that, hey, they've covered their bases. They have 33 countries covered in this report, which makes up 90% of the gaming revenues. What's up, Amit? Sorry if I completely butchered that. Trust me, my last name's hard. A lot of people butcher mine too. Okay, but the next is going to be talking about revenue models. And I don't really actually want to go into this too much of this one, but we're going to talk about, they do talk about like in terms of the local currency. So that everything is like not just denominated by US dollars to really see the underlying growth. So that's really cool. All right, let's actually get into some of the good information. I actually liked this. So they talked about like Newzoo's gamer personas, and it's actually really important, especially like for us as like blockchain gaming investors or gamers in general. We want to make sure that like, hey, you know, we are more like the all-around enthusiasts, or, you know, like the hardware enthusiasts. Like we're those kind of people. And so we're kind of early adopters in this phase. And then like as like, you know, mainstream starts happening, you start bringing in a lot of other gamers. So if you're interested in that, you can read that. And then if you're in the Discord, I posted it today in the PDF, so you can actually read this one. All right, so to the goods, right? So the global games market will generate 175.8 billion in 2021, representing a negative 1.1% year-over-year decline. Don't worry, 2020 was a like outstanding quarter or outstanding year for games just because of COVID. So everyone was playing games. So it really like shortened the life cycle of like video games for 2021. So some of that growth that was supposed to be for 2021 moved into 2020. And so that was why like it was a negative 1.1% year over year, but they're expected to pick up that growth in 2022 and beyond, just for the fact that a lot of games that were supposed to release in 2021 got delayed to 2022. Okay. Now, we forecast the mobiles games market will generate $90.7 billion in 2021, up to 4.4% year. And so for the Discord group, this is the reason why like I'm super bullish on mobile. And this is why like not only invest, but like my first indication or like indicator of like a game that I want to invest in is going to be mobile. If it can be given to as much people because of this, like this is like what really matters. Because if you can get your game in front of the masses, then you win, right? And the more that you do it, the better you are. So mobile revenues growth will continue to outperform both console and PC toward 2024. And this is an ongoing trend. Like PC and console takes, an extra money. So it's like one of those things that like, hey, I already have a phone. Why don't I just play on my phone? The one thing that we'll talk about a little bit later is Apple's removal of IDFA, which is like their advertisement platform. But I'll go over that a little bit later and kind of how it affects. And I actually think it's a bull case for blockchain gaming as a whole. So PC games will generate $35.9 billion in 2021, a decline of negative 2.8% from the previous year. The vast majority of this number, $33.3 billion, will come from box digital games, which is like Steam or Epic or anything like that. I looked up that definition. And then the other one is like 2.6, like that 2.6 billion games is going to be browser-based games. And that's actually going to be an uptick. They're going to be very surprised just for the fact like Crypto Blades and all that kind of stuff is like a browser game. And they're actually going to be creating a lot more revenue than some of these indie studios, which is like sad. These people that like put their whole life work in it. Asia Pacific and North America will account for around 50%. So Asia Pacific will be 50% of the demographics and 24% of the game revenues in 2021. And so I'll zoom in on this a little bit. So this is actually a really good demographic for the Discord to know, or just like for anybody to know in normal in general, is the 2021 global games market cap. So you have like the Asia Pacific region that is like considering a 50%. So sorry, my wife's texting me. And that's going to be growing at a 3% year over year. Middle East and Africa, that's going to be 4.8% year over year growth with $6.3 billion in revenue. Europe will be $31.5 billion with a negative 5.6 a year over year growth. Latin America coming in strong with year over year growth. They have 7.2 billion year over year growth. 7.2 billion with 5.1% year over year growth. And Latin America is actually booming a lot in terms of the mobile industry. And like, if you can give like those personnel, like NFT games to be able to play Latin America, that's like getting them out of poverty. Like that's where we want to see. Like if there's like a game that like would really like pitch well to Latin America, we as a group want to get invested into them because they're growing ridiculously. In North America, there's always a powerhouse of video games. There's always going to be gamers in North America just because we're a little bit more privileged to have like consoles and all that kind of stuff. So Asia Pacific is easily the world's biggest region by game revenues with $88.2 billion in 2021 alone, making up to 50.2% of all game revenues. And that makes sense too. We already see it in the NFT gaming space. Like Axie Infinity is a Asia Pacific game and it's killing, like absolutely killing. They're making like Activision Blizzard, Take-Two Interactive like look silly, but the amount of revenues that they're generating a month, which is nearly $1 billion at this point, and they're literally a simple art style. It's crazy. North America remains 2021 second biggest region, boosting game revenues of $42.6 billion, mainly from the U.S. And then both Asia Pacific and North America are on track for solid growth with healthy compound annual growth rate. That's what CAGR stands for. Compound annual growth rates of 8.7% and 7.9% respectively. So they're thinking that the revenues will be generated will be really good just because they're better at optimizing. Microtransactions are getting better. But something that is a sleeper that they are not accounting for is NFT games. But we are definitely on the alpha. We understand that information way before anybody else does. And that's why I'm so bullish on this, is that we can invest early. We're literally going to be taking so much market share away from all of the numbers that we're talking about right now. Next up is this is kind of talking about the year-over-year growth of players, I believe. So we have 1.6. This is global players. So this is around 1.6 billion, 212 million in North America, Latin America. Europe is 408 million, and Middle East, Africa is 434 million. So actually, Asia Pacific is fat, right? And it's still a year-over-year growth of 4.8%. That's huge. So like Axie Infinity still has like huge places to grow, like in my opinion. I don't know. Like, looking at the macro and zooming out, like when you like completely zoom into Axie Infinity and you're like thinking like, man, this is way overpriced. But At the same time, too, as you see the market trends going up on the rise with a 4.8% year-over-year growth to a 1.6 billion players. Like, some of those people are going to creep into Axie Infinity, and they're just going to tell their friends, and it's just going to blow up even more. If you can make money while you also play video games, game over, checkmate. This is a huge statistics. There will be close to 3.0 billion players across the globe in 2021. This is up 5.3% year on year from 2020, showcasing that 2020's AIM gaming boom from COVID has led to a lasting increase in players with room for further growth, which is legit. That's awesome. That's great for us to hear, because for me, I see NFT gaming like happening like very slowly, but then all of a sudden, if that makes sense. So like, you know, it's just a kind of a creeper. Then there's like one influencer just sets it off. And then you just have this massive adoption for NFT gaming, because it's not hard for gamers to switch over to other games. Like, as soon as a revelation happens for gamers that like, wait, I can own all my skins. Wait, I can actually do all this stuff that I have ownership of, and I can sell in the secondary market for actual money. Why am I playing this game? That's what I see happening. And just people don't know about it. Like, that's purely what it is. Like, gamers don't know about it. Because if you ask any gamer, if you put games right next to each other, you say, hey, would you want a NFT based game or a regular game? No one would pick a regular game. No one. Okay. Done ranting. Okay. We already talked about that. Kind of beat that one head to death. So this one's an important for the group. Okay. So downloaded PC box games. This is like Steam and Epic. Negative 1.4% year over year growth. So a lot of people are not going to be like hardcore PC gaming. And to be honest, like, I don't think that's true personally. This is what the report's saying. So I'm going to kind of stick with that. But I do think that like the Gen Zers and millennials, as they make more money, are going to want to emulate the people they watched during Twitch, during like YouTube lives and all that kind of stuff. And that 1.4% year over year growth is going to be, there's one kid that I not disciple anymore, but like that I used to mentor, and he wanted to build a PC because like he watched all these streamers. And it's just like one of those things that, like, you know, the streamers up top are PC gamers, and everybody strives to be like the people that they watch, right? So I think that downloaded PC games and stuff, and PCs as a whole will boost up. Smartphone games, this is going to be a behemoth, right? This 45% is going to be 50, 55, 4.7% year over year growth with $79 billion of revenue a year in just smartphone games alone. Come on now. As tablet games. So really 79 plus tablet games, that's mobile. That's 50% of the whole market share of the gaming market. Browser games, PCs, 2.6 billion, negative 18% year over year. That's going to be consumed by mobile. Console games, $49.2 billion and year over year growth of negative 8.9%. I think that's going to be on an uptick as like the semiconductors and all that kind of stuff is built out, and like the delays of Xbox and PS5s are fully like being made, and people can get a hold of them. Taz asked the question, what about custom gaming mobiles / tablets? You're kind of like talking about the Steam Deck, the one that they're making for that. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about like Switches? Just clarify that, and we can talk about it. But I'll spell this out for people that are just listening. Delays for new gaming PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X's. Games are notably challenging, particularly for PlayStation 5, whose first-party games are full price only at launch, as opposed to Xbox more service-leaning strategy with Game Pass. This is compounded by global semiconductor shortage, which is negatively affecting the supply of consumer electronics, including next-generation consoles and high-end PC components. So yes, the global shortage of chips and all that kind of stuff is leading to some of this negative year-over-year growth, because there's just not enough supply for the demand that's out there, right? The pandemic has significantly fewer negative impacts on mobile, which relies more heavily on in-app purchases for current popular and available titles. This segment is even on track to 4.4% year-on-year growth to $90.7 billion in 2021. That's crazy. Give me a second, Amber. Let me get through this. I'm almost done with this, and then we can talk about other projects. The key developments towards 2024. So the game market will swiftly recover from its slight 2021 decline. Globally, the market will grow with a compound annual growth rate of plus 8.7% to reach a $218.7 billion in 2024. So for us as NFT gamers, right, like there's only 800 unique wallets playing NFT games in July. So one of those things is like, how much do you guys think of the market share of 218 billion can the NFT gaming make in 5 years? And if we can get, let's just say, I'm doing calculation on my phone here. Let's just say that we get 20% in 5 years of the 218 billion, which, you know, the compound annual growth rate is gonna raise. What did I say? 20%? That's $43.6 billion going into these games. So if you are finding market caps of games that are solid, that are like only $1 million or even like $1 billion in market cap, and they have that first mover advantage, you have to like kind of think about that. Like for me, that's why I invested in Sandbox. I'm like, hey man, what's the revenues? What's the actual like valuations of like Roblox? Roblox valuation's like 50 billion, right? And like Sandbox's valuation right now, in terms of the fully diluted market cap, is only like 2.3 billion or like 5 billion, 2 to 3.5 billion. You guys know crypto moves fast, but you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like Roblox, you know, and Sandbox is trying to be something like that, has that little of a valuation compared to Roblox. So yeah, just think about that. These are the player forecasts, and this is something that's like really bullish for blockchain gaming and gaming as a whole. This number will continue to grow at a 5.6% compound annual growth rate to 3.3 billion by 2024. Like 3.3 billion players will be amazing, right? That's huge. That's a huge market base. And I think revenues are just going to skyrocket because NFT games are built for revenue growth. By 2024, the growth rate for players will be reduced to 3.2%. Yeah, just for the fact that like we're running out of people to convert to gamers. But I also think that there's going to be a longer tailwind for when like millennials and Gen Zers start having kids. They're also going to be gamers. More than Gen Xers and baby boomers kids were gamers. Console will be played by 871 million people in 2021. The number of console players would continue to increase towards 2024 just for the fact that there's a new release of like PS5s and Xbox S's, and then technology gets better, so it makes the prices go down. And they're gaining market share in China and South Korea for like these consoles. So that's a big win. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is like the key global trends, and this is actually why it's pretty bullish for crypto games. So the new era of mobile IDFA's removal is disrupting mobile game advertisement and user acquisition. So what IDFA is like it's what prompts you. It's called identification for advertisers. Apple's identification for advertisers, and what it does is that it prompts you before every single time you enter an app. Is like, hey, do not track who I am. And that means that they can't collect data, and that means that they can't run targeted ads, which will convert into revenue streams for like marketing, right? So it kind of is a thing that like is actually ripping away one of the major revenue streams for gaming. This is why I think actually NFT gaming is going to be so much more profitable, for the fact that NFT gaming does not require advertisement. It requires a community that loves a game, that wants to sell in the secondary market, and you collect a fee. Just like OpenSea, right? It created a platform in which that people wanted to buy NFTs, and then they get a 2.5% off of every transaction that happens. I actually think it's 5%, but that's crazy. You know what I mean? 5% off of every single transaction that's happening in OpenSea, which right now is stupid. You know what I mean? It's stupidly high. Crossplay, everyone knows about that. I'm not going to mention that. There's this fly in here that I'm just about to go ham on. VR. So VR is, they're just saying that, hey, it's becoming a thing. And then into metaverse. I think that's it. I think that's all I really want to talk about. Hey, like representation. Let's go, guys. We're here. Sandbox, Blankos, Decentraland, Network, and then like all these other like types of economies. Let's go. That's awesome. We're showing up on these reports now. Okay, that's it. Emmett said, what do you think about infrastructure projects like Ultra? Man, like there's so many things that I look into every single day. Ultra is very familiar to me. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm completely, I don't think I'll get into Ultra just for the fact that Becker pumps it so much. Oh, is this actually? This might not be the one. Altura. Yeah, it's Altura. It's not Ultra. Yeah, give me a second. Ultra wouldn't be a bad idea because it's what comes up when you type in Ultra. I think I spelled it wrong too. Altura. Altura. There we go. So I'm pretty sure Becker is a person that is on the board for this. So developer, we can walk through the white paper for a little bit. Let's walk through it. What's up, Raf? Raf is actually part of the Harun MBA program. He's family, man. Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, we're just talking about NFTs and crypto, bro. Super big into it. All right, let's just go with the introduction here, and then we can talk about it. Altura NFT. You want me to look that up? Okay, I think this is actually what turned me off to it, Airmit. Not like turned me off to it. I was just like, hey, like these partners, nothing seems like super earth-shattering to me. Like Chainlink is like a partner for anybody that actually used like their technology, which Chainlink connects like off-chain to on-chain. So like Chainlink is going to be a partner for like a lot of things, you know? And so Cetify, like all of like Becker and all that stuff, like pump this, like CryptoBlades. Like I'm not a big fan of CryptoBlades or any like browser-based game, and Wizards is kind of that same way. And I don't know about Rune. So partners, again, I'm not going to throw it away because it isn't, but let's just look it up. So introduction in terms of the white paper, in-game items are a big part of any video game and allow gamers to own digital assets. However, in-game items are centralized, not easily exchangeable, and challenged to implement. Ultra is a smart contract platform that allows game developers to mint, distribute, and transact smart NFTs representing in-game items. Smart NFTs are NFTs with, yeah, we know what NFTs are. Okay. So, So I think this is going to be very reliant on their partners. It's going to be like so they are a platform, which I love platforms. Yeah, man, I didn't get into the engine starter either. I'm super bummed, but like I'm super pumped for two of our Discord members did. Eric, like was the first guy that joined our Discord, literally made the whitelist, and I'm super pumped for him, like beyond excited for him. And then there was somebody else. I feel bad for not remembering, but okay. So the problem here for them, they're saying, is the lack of ownership. Yep, lack of ownership is big. Shady marketplaces, difficulty in developing a virtual economy. So their solution is cryptocurrency provides us with an opportunity to give gamers true ownership over the digital items. Okay, yeah, I got that. A lot of people are. Ultra wants to provide easy-to-use solutions for minting NFTs, non-fungible tokens to represent in-game items. We also want to provide smart NFTs with dynamic properties that can be changed based on time-based conditions, function called based conductions, or real world. So they're saying smart NFTs that can change with like things happening. So to put it into like gamer terms, it's like the Breath of the Wild, like in like Legend of Zelda, like how there's deterioration of like a sword which always like made me upset. Not like made me upset, but was very frustrating. It could break, right? So like smart NFTs, seems like there's dynamic properties that can be changed based on time-based conditions, function call-based conditions, or real-world conditions offer a new world of potential NFTs. This idea is yet to be effectively implemented in an easy-to-use manner. So I think there are people doing that, and so their competition is, I'm not saying there's a lot of competition, I'm just saying that there is going to be competition for them because there's a lot of other people doing this. Okay. Static properties. Okay. So a breakdown of smart NFT logo. Unlike traditional NFT marketplaces like OpenSea or Rarible, the logo or image is not the NFT itself. Instead, the NFT is an actual in-game item represented by a developer within the game. So this is just making it very easy for people to develop like smart NFTs that will be in games. I am going to try. It depends on like the market share. I think the bots are going to get it and they're going to pump. So sorry for the people that are listening in the secondary market. And after this video is published, Aramit says, by the way, do you think it's still worth to buy Engine Starter on when it's released to the public? And I think so. Depends on like what I can afford. But like for me, you think about it as in terms of like a platform that is going to release other games, and having those tokens are going to give you an option to invest in those games before the masses, which for me, like that's like the whole thing that I do, right? It's like all that I want to do in terms of like my new like type of career path, which is like blockchain gaming. So like it's important to me too, right? As like just a YouTuber and trying to get ahead of the curve, like I need to be in all of like these like platforms. Like I missed Cetify, I missed all that stuff just because I haven't been in the space that long. But trust me, I'm going all in now. Don't you worry about that. Like it's just, for me, it's just going to be just getting enough funds and just moving and allocating funds for a little bit. Because I'm all in. I just need to make sure I do it properly and understand the risks. Okay. It looks awesome, man. Like it looks pretty cool. It seems like more of Empower, like a tool to be able to use. So founders, pitch. Okay, so for me, not dogging these guys, all right? But like needing to put like ambitious young entrepreneur, and then like 15,000 subscribers, that's not much. Like, and then that's cool. So it's like educational base. All right. So like for me, the next thing is like, this is red flags right here for me. Founders, like looking at the founders is like, hey, it's a guy that like made a YouTube channel with like 15,000 subscribers. And then he's been a developer and investor in the cryptocurrency since 2019. So it's not like he's like been like here when like Bitcoin was like a few cents. You know, again, that's not bad, because I'm just saying like it'd be like me like creating a game or like a platform, which, you know, hey, I just need to make sure that I'm surrounded by good people, and that's what I need to figure it out. Yeah, Aramit, like me too, man. I think for me, I'm gonna try to get in though as soon as I can. But yeah, I'll look into Ultra a little bit more. Some people have been asking me about that too in some of the lives. Oh, here's the team. Okay. Cool. All right. I think my wife is. Cool. I think it's cool that this is like Cetify, I would say, is like the biggest thing for like Ultra NFT. Yeah. That is all I have. I was going to go over my report a little bit, but I don't think I want to do that anymore because I kind of trimmed it down. All right. I think that's it. Aramit, have a good night, man. Or at least for me, it's night. Have a good morning or wherever you're at. But I'm going to be jumping into the Discord chat. So if you're in there, I'll jump in and then I'm going to do some other work here too. All right. As always, though, love you guys. Peace.